Hey,
Hey,
you've got a new Christmas angle going on. You just changed your angle at the last minute, Carl T. Webster.
I did because I realized the more I lean into my drawing tablet, the more I just kind of disappear off the screen like this, and whoop, I'm back.
You can see Carl twice here, and me. Look, this is the control room. This is where all the magic happens.
That's the mini me
Hey,
right there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, Miss Hughes. Do you know what? Miss Hughes pesters me every time we're on live sessions. Don't you, Miss Hughes? You always pester me and say, hey, can I have a sneak peek of what we're going to do today? Well, I did give her a sneak peek. So you better be ready, Miss Hughes. You better be ready. What's that? Iskol Chlandigai. Iskol Chlandigai. Kyle, do you remember how to say Happy Christmas? I bet you don't.
Oh no, I've forgotten already.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, people tell me in the comments if I'm getting it wrong myself. I don't think I am. I think I'm doing all right. I checked it this morning. Nadolig
Nadolig,
Klawen.
Klauen.
There you go. Nadolig Klawen. And you can
Nadolig,
say,
Nadolig, Klauen.
yeah, and also you can impress people by sticking pobble on there, which means people. Or you can say pob, which is like everyone.
And then with a B, is that a B sound at the end? Pob?
Yeah, pub. I think so. That's how it goes.
Nadolig, Klauen.
Yeah, there you go. Good afternoon, one and all. Pronoun da. That's good afternoon, pronoun da. Right.
It's hard enough for me to learn German, and now you got me trying to learn. This is just, my brain is, whew.
Yeah, I know, fried. Unbelievable. We do like a good comment, though, don't we, Carl?
Yes, please.
Yeah. You can't just leave Miss Hughes on her own getting all the glory. There she is, back again. The skull, slendy guy. You can't just have her getting all the glory. So come on. We've got 66 schools in today. We've got 66 schools in today. So let's get all your comments in. Don't be wallflowers. Get them in. Right. Christmas waffle. This is the last one of the year, Carl.
I know. Bittersweet. Well, next year we'll have more.
Bittersweet. What's bitter about it?
Nothing, actually. Well, we'll be back next year, so there's plenty more to come. And then we'll be refreshed, Dom, so we'll be even more creative and we'll have even better ideas.
Exactly. That's true. I've still got to put the list up of what we're doing in the new year. Plenty of things to do, but just quite frankly, didn't really have the headspace for doing it. It was just, we've done so many this term. And you know what? Big thanks to Kyle, my buddy Kyle, who has just made it a dream this last term. So thank you very much, Kyle.
Well, that's very kind, but hey, dynamic duo, Dom. And besides, I couldn't do it without following your lead. So here we are.
He doesn't say that off camera. Never. Also, let's just give a big shout out to Ruth, who used to do loads with me before Kyle just completely elbowed her out the way.
No, I've done some with Ruth. Ruth's awesome.
Yeah, Ruth's awesome. Nicole, Emma. Meredith. Also, Tom did one with me. So we've had loads of people, and so everyone's shared in the success. So thanks very much for that. Yeah. Right. Enough waffle. Rule number 1, Carl, go.
Rule number 1, pause at any moment you like. If you are going too fast for you, pause. But keep in mind that if I do something or Dom does something, we'll most likely echo whatever we've just done. So you get to see it twice. So you might not need to pause right away. But if you do feel like you're falling behind, totally fine to pause. And you can pick us back up again whenever you're ready. We will still be here.
Yeah, exactly. Rule number 2.
Rule number 2. Well, those of you who finish the work, finish the project, finish the challenge, you know what happens, right, Dom? It's swag time.
It is. You know what time it is. It's swag time.
I'm looking at my... Oh, wait a minute. I don't...
No, not swag time right now because they haven't finished yet.
I never know what time it is. It's swag time, though, if you finish your work, which means you get free stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And 3...
3 is, well, you could go one step further, and we love people who take it a little bit further, Dom, right? Push the envelope, do that little bit extra work. You learn something, you're proud of yourself, you've done the challenge, you feel like you know how to do something cool. Why not share it with a friend and teach them as well? Or like I said yesterday, you could share it with a family member or pet.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen a good, a few hamsters that are pretty good at Express. So hamsters included too.
Now, if that happens, you get the extra special swag.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Right. Let me just share this quickly. Is that sharing? Yeah, it is. Come on. Yeah. Okay. bit.ly/express Christmas if you need it. You don't really need it today, but it is good to have because it's got loads of challenges on there. Snowman Net. We'll do that. Second challenge today, confusingly, but we will do that. They've all got tutorials though, so you can go back and do them at any time.
Yep.
Christmas card. We did that last week's, didn't we, Carl?
Yep. And yours was better. I loved that reindeer head. That was so funny.
Yeah, that was cool, wasn't it? That one was extremely successful. If you still need to do Christmas cards for your loved ones, get on that one. Right. This is going to be a cracker. This is going to be our first one today. Carl made it up all by himself.
Yes, this is one of my favorite tutorials that I made this year, and we're going to draw a snowman from scratch in Adobe Express.
Yeah, and also it was so good that actually one of the digital leads from Ceredigion made it in Welsh.
Really?
Yeah, that's what that video is. You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't even seen that. Cool.
No. And then also Christmas video. That one's a fun one as well. Some mad things in there, so go and have a look. Right, but we do always get told off. So, Carl, are you going to share your screen and get us going?
I will indeed. And I'll start here with
let's get it.
I'm actually just going to share the whole window since there will be no audio today.
Ysgol Llanllyfni. Oh man, that's a tough one. Ysgol Llanllyfni. Llanllyfni.
Help me out with that one.
That's a tough one. Okay, Holy Name School, Fish God. I can do that.
Yeah, right.
There we go. Thank you very much, Holy Name School.
Cool. All right.
Right, we're on.
Shall we dive in? Well, we're going to be drawing today. If you've never drawn in Express before, there are 2 ways to get to the drawing tools. What do? Number 1, you can go over here where it says drawing and fun. Drawing and fun. Drawing and fun. Like I said yesterday, why is it drawing and fun? Drawing is fun.
Yeah.
But there it is. You can go to drawing and fun and look, drawing. That's one way to get to it, Dom. But the other way is the purple plus. We love that purple plus. We just tap on that and we say DRAW, which spells draw. And you have the first option right there, drawing. So either way you go.
Actually, it's just drawing in the education version, actually. It doesn't have drawing and fun in the education version.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a funny one. I just clocked it now. But there you go. Right.
That's so funny.
Right.
Well, here we are. We have our blank canvas, if you will. All of our brushes and colors are over here on the left, and we are ready to get going. But Dom is nodding. Look at the look he's giving me. And I said my New Year's resolution was I was going to name my work first. So this time you can't tell me.
You must have been such a stubborn child at school. You must have been. You must have been a nightmare to teach.
Well, we all have our bad habits. So mine is to just jump in and start drawing and start creating because I'm excited about that part of the process. And I forget about naming stuff. You should see my layers in Photoshop, Dom.
Oh, don't. That's going to give me a heart attack. Don't.
Layer 1, layer 600, layer 450. Anyway, so let's go ahead and name our file. Look at this. I'm being such a good boy today. Okay. We're going to call this Snowman Drawing. There we go. You can call it whatever you like.
I call my
and now that I've named my file, now that it's named, I won't get in trouble.
Yes. Good.
All right. Now, we are going to go through this step by step. You'll be able to follow along, and it's going to be fun, and it'll actually be a lot easier than you might think. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the very first brush that we are given here. It's called the hard round brush. All right. And it's really just a circle, but let's see what we can do with that. We're going to select blue right here. You have preset colors. One of them is this light blue. I'll select that color, and then look here. I can change the size of my brush. I can either type in a number, or I can simply move this slider around. So I'm going to make it really big. I'll make it like 500 or 600 pixels, something like that. Right. Okay, so the number here is 579, but you can do whatever you want, somewhere in that range. And we'll start by just filling the entire canvas with blue. So I'm just moving it all around until the whole thing is blue. That's it.
I mean, I'm impressed. Do you have to download and share it now?
Well, we're not quite done.
Oh,
all right. Now, we do have different categories of brushes here. We have the basic brushes, the multicolor brushes, art supplies, and decorative. We're going to move into art supplies next. And if you want to see more brushes, which I do, all I have to do is tap on this option that says View All. So let's do that. All right. Lots of different options here. There's one just up from the bottom here on the left that says Spatter. fun to say. Spatter.
It's such a unique way of saying it.
Not to be confused with splatter.
Ah, there you go.
They're very similar. So spatter brush. If you look at this little art supplies title, there's an arrow. I can go back, and now we're back to where we can see our brushes and colors and everything else. And what I want is I want to put in some snow with the spatter brush. Let's go over here to this little set of sliders. What is this, Dom? This is more colors, because I don't want to just use these. I want millions of colors. So let's go to custom colors.
Millions.
Look at that. Millions and millions of colors available. And I'm just going to take the blue that I've already got, and I'm going to take this little circle and move it to the left and up like here.
Okay.
So it's really quite bright, and it's moving also a little bit more towards white, but we're not going all the way to the corner. That would be pure white, but it's quite bright. Okay. And for the size of the brush, I'm going to make it quite large. I'm going to go again to maybe like 600 or 700, somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay.
And all I have to do is just do this. Just
spatter.
Yep. Every time I touch the canvas with this brush, I'm going to get a bunch of spatter.
And it is actually designed to be different each time, isn't it? I'm noticing that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Is it's random. It's really fun.
Just so you know, everybody, Kyle is the man who is actually building this project with the help of engineers. So, you know, if you've got any feedback or complaints, Kyle's the man to go to.
Complain to me. I make all the brushes, actually, for Photoshop and for Express. That's kind of a really fun part of my job, I must say.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't realize that that's a big deal, that's a big deal. Let me tell you. Carry on.
Well,
sorry,
you know, maybe it's a big deal for people who like to paint digitally. I don't know. The average person on the street doesn't care. All right. But what we've done here is we've made a little bit of snow in our background. So we've got a sky, we've got some snow in the background, but it's not white. And you'll see why later, because we're going to use white for the most contrast in the foreground. All right. So now that I've got my sky and I've got some spatter back there, I'll do one more step and then I'll pass it over to you, Dom.
Yeah, do one more step.
I'm going to make some trees in the background.
Oh.
And this is going to be really fun. Now to do that.
Oh, just make that point that you haven't gone down to the bottom, have you?
Pardon me?
You haven't gone down to the bottom of your canvas here.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm sorry. I should have mentioned that. Yeah, the reason I haven't done that is because we're going to have a ground that's going to be a snow-covered ground. And
it doesn't matter if people have actually, does it? Because it's going to be covered anyway. Doesn't matter.
It'll be covered. We won't see any of that anyway.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So here we go. Tree time. How do we do it? Well, we have all these categories, and one of them is decorative. It's the very last category. Once again, if I tap on view all, I can see a lot. Look at this. Wow. Lots and lots of goodies. One of the options here, right about in the middle, so we have 3 columns here. In this middle column, if I just go on down, boop, I hit evergreen. Now, these are all alphabetical, so if you get to the D's and the E's, you'll say, oh, yeah, evergreen. And I'll tap on evergreen, so that's selected. And then we'll head back over here to select a color. So the evergreen brush, I'll show you what I'm going to do, but I'm going to change the color here. The evergreen brush will paint trees in any direction that you move. See that? Now, I don't want these trees to be here. So what do I do, Dom? If I've made a mistake or I change my mind?
It's fine. Just use that one. Just use the back button, the undo button.
Here it goes. Bye-bye. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you see how it works. I want green trees and I want them to be larger. So I'm going to make the size here. This time I'll just type a number. 400. Okay. And let's change our color. So back we go into the more colors option. I want this to be green. So I'm going to move towards the green, but it's not going to be super green. It'll be kind of a nice blue green, if you will. And I'll make it a little darker. See that? Kind of like this. That's a nice color. I like that. Maybe a little lighter. There we go. You can get picky if you like. And what I'll do is just from the bottom of the canvas, okay. And if you, by the way, if you want to zoom in or zoom out, you can pinch with your fingers on your trackpad or expand with your fingers. See that? Let's do this. Up we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3. And I'm just going to paint a row of trees. Now look what I'm doing. I'm stopping at about, here's the halfway point, a little above halfway, right?
Mhm.
Some can be a little taller, some a
And
little
you're not
shorter.
so bothered about it being uniform, or it's like it can be a bit random.
Not at all. Totally doesn't matter. Totally doesn't matter. And I think that's a good place to stop for now. Dom, do you want to try and mirror what I've just done?
Yeah, hang on. Just keep yours on the screen. I've just completely forgotten to share my screen.
No worries. And people can see this. And remember, if you think you've made a mistake or you change your mind and want to do something differently, just go over here and use your back button and it's fine.
Yeah.
So Dom will now go ahead and look at this. Now we can see exactly what he's done.
Yeah. So let me just go over here and show you that you can use the eraser tool and actually clear the whole canvas. One of the differences between this and Express is that you can't move pieces around and stuff like that. So once you've committed, you've committed.
Although we have good news, you will be able to work with layers in the future with the drawing features.
Well, that's a pretty massive sneak peek that you've just given us there, Kyle.
Well, it's important.
Yeah, it is important. Blimey. Right. Let me go from the start. Hard round brush, blue background. I'm going to go for 1,000 just because I wanted to see what that was like. Yeah, that took no
very
time.
easy.
And then you went down to art supplies and you went to spatter. And then you went to white. Oh, no, you didn't go to white. You stayed in the blue, used the custom colors and moved it over there. So it was a little bit more subtle. And then size-wise, not sure it actually matters all that much. Maybe a bit bigger. Might just do some random different. Oh, that one's a bit. Yeah, I'm going to use my back button now too.
And you can also drag with your finger here and there. You can sort of tap and then drag a little bit, and you can get some passages of snow that just kind of pop. You can do little circles, little swirly patterns, whatever you like.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. A bit there around there. Yeah. So Carl didn't go all the way to the bottom. I'm just being a bit random. Okay. Cool. Happy with that. And then it's true. Well, maybe I'll go a little bit further down because it doesn't matter. It'll get covered anyway if I need it to. Okay. So I'm happy with that roughly. And then I'm going to go to decorative.
Yep.
View all. Evergreen. Come back out of that. Select the green, but we don't really want it to be that green. We maybe come down a bit. Carl just made it a bit bluey, really. Carl makes me nervous about colors because he always picks the right ones, and I don't want to pick the wrong ones. But it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't really matter.
What did you go for? Because yours is a bit bigger than mine, actually, and I thought that it did look better.
The trees I went for were about 400, 450. That's a good size.
All right, cool. Right, so I'm just going to have my my crosshair in the bottom. Just go up.
There you go. Perfecto. Look at that. And they can be different heights, they can be. And the nice thing too is you'll notice that the trees themselves also are just slightly different every time.
Yeah, there we go.
That looks great.
That. Yeah, cool. Right. Take us on, Fearless Leader.
Okie dokie. So we've just done one row of trees. The next thing I'll do is make my brush actually bigger. So I was at 400. I'll go to 500 or maybe 520 or something like that. It'll be a little bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I already have that green selected, right?
Yes.
I'm just going to make the green a little bit darker. Okay. Not super dark, but just a little darker. And now I'll paint another row in front of these. See this? And what this does is it creates a little bit of a sense of depth. So we have some trees in the background and maybe some more trees a little closer to us like that. That's all that does.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Very cool.
So we've got some sky. We've got some snow in the background. We've got some trees. Now we need a little snowy ground at the bottom. This is very easy to make. Once again, we'll return to the hard round brush and we'll select white for our snow. And I'll make the brush a little smaller so I have a bit more control of what I do here, but about 400 or something like that. And the key is to make sure that the ground only takes up about the bottom third or so of our canvas. We don't want it to go too high up or we won't have room for our snowman. So I'll start like about here maybe and just kind of do a little lumpy bumpy kind of ground like that. Yeah. So it can have some bumps. If you want, you could do something like this. It could be bumpy like that. It doesn't matter, okay? I'd like to do sort of a little wavy sort of thing like that.
Yeah.
Anything like that is going to work out just fine. And if you don't like what you've done, remember, just undo it, try again. And sticking with this same brush, I'll just go right into the snowman because this is, after all, a circle. So I just need 3 circles to build my snowman. The first one will be 700. So I'll make it quite large. And I'm going to aim for the center of the canvas. So the vertical center here. And I'll tap down close to where the snow is, maybe about here, and just see how that looks.
Nice.
There we go. And you see it's sitting in the snow. What I didn't do was this. I didn't tap up here, didn't tap, over here.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that. We want it to be sitting in the snow, right? So it's got a nice solid base right there. Then I'll do the next 2. And so I've got 700 here. I'll start the next one at 450. So a little larger than half the size of this one. And just as before, I don't want to tap up here, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tap a little lower like this so it sits on the other snowball. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, I think I'll do about 300 and tap once more.
Perfect.
And there, I've got a nice little head for the snowman, and that's it. 1, 2, 3. You want to try that, Dom?
Yeah, for sure. Right. Let's have a go. Right. Well, so what I'm going to do is going to do the hard round brush. I'm going to make sure it's white. So I'm going to do my snowy ground. Do you know what I think? I think because I'm using the trackpad, my trackpad's quite small. I've actually found that the bigger the brush, the easier it is for me to do this kind of snowy ground here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to keep it there. But because otherwise it was getting a bit jittery because I was running out of space on my trackpad.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so maybe people can try that. And
Good
then,
tip.
bring that size down. Carl did around about 700. Vertical center. So I guess it doesn't need to be like perfect, but like let's try for that. I think that's a bit too far out of the snow. That feels a little bit more nestled in.
Nice.
Bum nestled into the ground. Cool. Then we'll go down to about 500 odd. And then now that's too low. I think that's too low. So I'm going to go back. You can use back up here. Just checking I'm on the screen. Yeah. And then have another go. Maybe a bit too high. Just right. Bit like Goldilocks. There you go.
Very Goldilocks. Yeah. I was just thinking that.
And then did you bring it down to about 300, 250?
Yeah, I went to about 300. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Bang on 300. Too low. What do you think?
It should work. You could go a little higher, but I think it looks okay.
Yeah, a little higher, maybe. A little bit wonky. Yeah,
oh, that's it.
Wonky donkey. All good. That was easy. Right, let's go.
Very nice. All right, so we've got our snowman. And what do we need? Of course, we need to stick with the same brush so we can make some eyes and some buttons and things. So I'm going to knock this down from 300 all the way to 30. So I'll just knock off a 0, and now it's much smaller. And I'll use black. There we go. So I've made my brush 30, and I'm going to use black. And I'll pinch to zoom so you can see what I'm doing here. And I'll just tap about here in the middle of the head, a little higher than the middle. I'll just go bang. And there we go. Very nice. All right. Now, while I've got that, let's tap and add some buttons. Now, I could tap up here, but I'll tell you what, we're going to add a scarf in a moment. So I want to make sure I have plenty of room for that scarf. So I'm going to go about where the middle of this circle is, somewhere about here, 1 and 2, and just add a couple of buttons right there.
Yeah, cool.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then look, since I've already got this brush selected, why don't we do this? We've got these dots. I'll make this a little smaller. I'll make it 20. And I've already got black selected, so we'll stick with that. And right about here, I'll just go up like that. And then on this side, I'll go curving down like that.
Nice. Cool. Saturday
we'll
night
fever. Yeah, that's right. He's dancing. Yeah. I'll make it smaller still. Now it's just 10. My brush is just 10, but watch this. Up we go.
Nice.
And oops.
Oh, cool.
Express is asking. I got to reload. Hang on. Let's see here.
Oh, we'll let
All right, you gonna be good? There it goes. Yay, it's back.
nice.
1, 2, and now we've got some little branches there, and that looks nice.
Yeah, good personification.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll do, since I'm on the same brush, is I'll just make my size again 30, back to 30. Grab this orange color, and starting about here in the center, look. Carrot nose.
I love the angle. Works so well.
Perfect. All right. So now on to you, Dom. You want to try these things?
Yeah, cool. Right. So hard round brush selected. Size 30 selected. Let's go roughly about 2/3 up, I think Carl's saying here. So boom and boom. That's nice. Then we need to leave space for a scarf. So we're going to leave space there. I'm going to do boom. I'm going to do 3 buttons. There we go.
Nice.
3
Yeah,
buttons.
I like that.
Yeah, why not? And then you went down to 20. So you went from 30 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can do a little whoop. That's good.
Perfect.
And then a little woo down. That was a bit longer, but that's all right.
That doesn't matter.
I'll go back. I'm a little.
I mean, sticks aren't all the same length anyway.
They are in my wood. Right. And then I'll go down to 10. And this is where I'm going to put my like fingers on. Yep. All right, I'll do. And then okay.
Good. I love it.
And then back up to 30. Get the carrot, get nose going, jaunty angle. What
That's
a schnozzle.
the way.
A beautiful Christmas schnozzle.
Perfect.
Right. Carl, where are we off next?
Okay, now it's scarf time, and the scarf is really fun. So what I'm going to do is use one of these fancy multicolor brushes. We haven't played with those yet.
Okay.
So we'll go to the multicolor and we'll say view all. And you're going to see all kinds of crazy stuff. And what multicolor brushes are, I'll just demonstrate for a moment. You don't have to do this. I'm going to undo this in a moment. But what multicolor brushes allow you to do is paint with brushes that have multiple colors on them. Look at that.
That one's so cool.
That's the cheesy brush. And then we have like a leafy brush and asterisk brush and all this cool stuff. So these are really fun. You can play with those all day. If you want to write your name with some of these brushes or just play and make crazy pictures that don't mean anything, have fun with those. Now for the scarf, I'm going to use the Rainbow Chew brush. It's the 3rd column, 3rd row, right here, Rainbow Chew. And I'm going to change the size of the brush. It starts at about 200, so I'm going to reduce it down to 140. I feel like that's a pretty good size. And I'm going to start right about here on the left side of this second circle, okay, close to where the chin is here, like that. And I'll just pull it across. And when I get over here, I'll just do a little wavy bit like that.
Cool.
And so you can, of course, play with the placement and try and get it where you like, and you can undo if you like. But I like this brush because it has that look of sort of a scarf, and it also has some 3-dimensionality to it, and that's fun.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so there's our scarf. And Dom, are you going to use the same brush, or do you want to try something different?
I don't know, actually. Let's have a look. I selected Rainbow Chew, and then let's go view all. I mean, I have tried the Golden Core before, but to be honest, I just don't think any of them are quite as good.
Okay, then Rainbow Chew it is. That's the one for this project, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I tried the leafy one, but yeah, it doesn't kind of work with the back, I think. Yeah, let's go Rainbow Chew because it also has that really nice kind of fold in it, which I really like.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah,
that does help. Cool. That does help. The angle of it helps, and the colors are also nice.
Yeah. Oh, you've got a little flourish at the end. You've done a few little flourishes there.
Oh, little bumpies. Yeah, I kind of do it differently every time. There's really no one prescribed way to do it.
Yeah.
Let's head back to our basic hard round brush. I want to show you a cool trick you can do, and that is, you know how I've got all this spatter here in the sky. When you're using colors, you can use this eyedropper tool right here. And if you've used this in Express before, you know that when you move it around the screen, it will select whatever color you have. Now, I don't know if you all can see what I'm doing. It probably isn't showing the eyedropper, but the eyedropper, if I move it around my picture, I can select colors that are already there.
Okay.
And since my sky is full of this lighter blue colored spatter, I'm just going to grab one of those lighter blues and see, I can check the color right here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to use the eyedropper. You could just make yourself a nice light blue. It doesn't matter. But I need that lighter blue because I'm going to, with this, this brush, we'll zoom in here. I'm going to create this cool illusion. And this is a really handy thing you can do with drawing, where you can make it look like something is sitting on top of something else. Look at this. If I just do that, it makes it look like we're creating. Yeah, so I'm basically following the form of this circle as if it went all the way in like that. I might make it a little smaller, maybe like 25 or so.
Yeah.
But there we go. Just do that one. And then do it again here like that. And that really helps to sell this idea that these snowballs are sitting on top of one another or in the snow.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay. I got that.
Pretty fun.
Yeah. I like that.
Well, I think we're almost there, Dom. Now there are lots of things you can do to make this your own, to do something.
Hey, show us that bird thing.
Yeah, you could add animals. I'll show you a little bird and even a little rabbit.
Oh yeah, the rabbit. That's a good one.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things. Yeah, you could even do things like this. Since we have this brush, you could grab the white color, and if you wanted to, there's so much you can do. You can come over here on the tree and just kind of make some little bits and pieces, like say, oh, there's snow on the trees. You know what I mean?
Oh, cool.
Like that.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you like. Okay. So that's a way to make that more custom. But let's have some fun with animals, because I love this. I'll show you how easily you can just make a little bird. So I'll come over here to this hand that's on our left. I'll select the yellow color here, and I'll make my brush a little bigger. We'll go like, say like maybe 70 pixels or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I'll just, right on this, this part of the branch here, I'll just tap like so. Okay.
Nice.
And Dom, today I might be even more fancy. I'm going to knock this down to about 40 pixels and just tap again right here up to the top left, about like that.
Okay.
Okay. So I've got a circle. I've got another circle overlapping it here. And then I'll make my brush a little smaller, go down to 20. And keeping in line with this diagonal here, look, I'll just draw a little line like that.
Nice.
And let's go back to black, and I'll make this even smaller. I'll do maybe 12 or something. And I'll zoom in again so everyone can really see this clearly. And just tap. There's a little eye. Go even smaller, maybe like 8 or so, and just make a little beak. There's our little bird sitting there, so happy.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love the collection of shapes. Just makes it so easy.
Yeah, you can draw with shapes, I'll make my brush gray, and we'll make this bigger again. Maybe I'll go for about 250 or something like that. And I'll come over here and just tap right there. Then I'll make my brush about 150. Zoom in so you can see this. And again, like right up over here where I'll kind of overlap a little bit. See, there's a nice overlap there. And then I'll make my brush about maybe, I don't know, 50 or something like that. 1, 2. Little rabbit. And I want that rabbit to be in the snow. So if I use white for my brush, I can just do this. I can cut off that bottom bit by painting some white over him. So now he's sitting in the snow. Use some black again, maybe go about 20 pixels or something. And there's a little eye for a bunny.
Cool. That's lovely.
Very easy.
Yeah, that's cool. Very
And for
cool.
all you pro artists out there, you know, you want to get super fancy, go ahead and do something like grab the eyedropper and select that light blue we already used for our shadows for our snowman, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe do a little something like that.
Oh, yeah. I get that.
Yeah, that's the really advanced super pro stuff. You don't have to do that, but it's fun.
Oh, I want to do super pro.
Do the
Let
super
me-
pro, and then the last thing I'll do
Hey.
is, you know how we talked about snow earlier,
Yeah.
and we have snow in the background. Well, if I use white with a
Oh,
slightly
yeah.
larger brush, like 40, I can just tap, anywhere I like. Make some bigger snowflakes here in the foreground, right? Just a few, boom, boom, boom. And then I can use a smaller size, like 20, and tap in some other places around there, just random little, there we go. And that
Yeah.
puts a lot of that snow, you can see now what that does. It pushes it forward towards us. So we really have a clear foreground, a middle ground, and a background. And that's just a nice thing.
Ace. I love it. Let me yeah, I'm there. I'm completely with you.
Oh, I love that your bunny's a little deeper in the snow than mine. That's a lot more
Yeah,
realistic.
it is a bit deep. It is
But
a
that's
bit deep.
more like how a bunny would be, that nice and,
Yeah, I don't
I
know,
like that.
maybe. But I
There's
tell you
that
what I
trick.
did like. Tell you what I did like that you did was you made your snow like different sizes, because that's more realistic, and that probably gives it a bit of depth as well, doesn't it? I would guess.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Was that too big? Oh, blimey. Like a whole snowball. 30, maybe try that. And yeah, that's it. Just makes it. Yeah, I mean, I could imagine if we had another hour, it would absolutely be worthwhile time with you just doing more stuff on there.
There's so much you can completely, if you can get inventive with it, and you can always redraw
Yeah.
it. Now that you know the steps, you can do more of these. You can,
Yeah.
and
That's ace.
the last thing I didn't do, Dom, was we could
Yeah,
always
that was
add a bit of
super over.
personality to our snowman. I have
Yeah.
that same, if I use that same light blue color,
Oh,
that we're using for the shadows,
Yeah.
I could always just do this. There.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Give 'em a little
really cool.
smiley face.
Actually, that does make a big difference, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. What sort of size? I'm thinking like 25. What did you do?
Mine's 15. It's actually quite small, but
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, that does make a difference. I'm into that.
let's
Yeah,
see
very
yours.
cool. Yeah, mine's got a bit of a bigger grin, but anyway.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. It's
I like
cool,
your
isn't it?
scarf.
Yeah, no, it's like that. Well, then you just got to try them over and over again, isn't it? And then you might get lucky and just hit one, and then it's like, yeah, that'll do. Right. Shall I do a quick download and then we
Yeah.
can move on?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, let's so just I mean, I don't know why I'm showing you. You know how to do all of this. Download it. There you go by pressing download. There you go, Snowman Kyle. It's all done. Right. Okay.
Now, don't
As long as it
forget, they
wasn't
could,
completed.
Dom, people can make this drawing and add it to a card if they want to put it in Express as a PNG. Bring it in as a PNG and make
Yeah.
a card, write a message, do whatever you like.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You could you could do that. That's a great idea. That's a perfect idea. Get it printed out and then take it home and stick it on the fridge. That would be lovely. Right, and if you do that, let us know. Send us some photos. We do love
Yes,
that kind
please.
of stuff. You know how to get
We'd
us.
love
We're
to
on
see
all-
your snowman.
Yeah, we're on all the usuals. You'll find us. Right. Let's go home. Okay, so back to the start. So that is challenge number. Well, it's actually challenge number 3 on our Christmas challenges page. Yes, there we are. Challenge number 3 on our Christmas challenges page. You've got loads of challenges. You can do them and give your teacher a rest before the end of term. Just get on with all these challenges. They're all fun. The next one we're going to do is a snowman net. We're going to do a snowman net. If you want to finish your snowman drawing, just pause us now. That's fine. You can get onto this one a little bit later or tomorrow or whenever you want to do. Here's our snowman net. Right. If you click here, it says snowman net examples, and that will open up this page here. Now, last year, we did some cuboids and cubes and we decorated them with arms and faces, and we made a little snowman character. But actually, I thought this year we get a little bit more technical, and we can do triangular prisms, or we can do square. Ooh, look at that, decorated, beautiful. And then, or we can do square-based pyramids. The choice is yours, Kyle. It's Christmas. This is my present to you.
Wow. How does the square-based pyramid work?
Oh, good. Let's do that one. Yeah, this one looks cool. Look at that. You can have like a circle. Yeah, it's funky. So how does it work? Well, let's go to Express. Now, this, you can print this out. You can cut it out. You can stick it together. Then you can put a little bit of string on the back of it with tape, and then you can hang it on your tree. I mean, honestly, if that's not a Christmas gift, I don't know what is. So you can do it by just go to landscape. It kind of doesn't matter if you do square or landscape here, because this one's pretty sort of compact. Get rid of that there. And then we'll call this Snow Woman Net. There we go.
Nice.
I think I just spelled that in a really weird way. Snow Woman. Cool. Now, I'm going to change the background color on this so that we can see what we're doing. It doesn't really matter what background color you do, but I would recommend it being quite subtle.
Okay.
Just in case, when you're cutting out, you're not quite as exact as you might want to be. At least the color's not going to, throw the whole thing out. Even if you have like vibrant pink, that might stand out a little. So let's change the background color.
Like my face in the summer.
Yeah, there you go. So square-based pyramid. This is what they look like. They have 4 faces, triangular faces. Oh no, well, they got 5 faces, 4 of which are triangular faces, and one of them is a square, which is the base. So it's got one base, which is a square. It's got 4 triangular faces. It's got all sorts of faces and edges and vertices and things like that. It's been a while since I've done this kind of stuff. Teachers are probably there going, yeah, I can tell. Right. So let's go back. Here we go. So, it's quite simple, really, but it is effective. So let's go to elements. Let's go to shapes. And this is where you can search. Let's start off by searching for a square. Let's get the square in there first. Right. Hey, Kyle, I think you might know the answer to this one. Can you see the results on my screen?
Yeah.
The first row. What is the technical name for that shape?
Oh, you have stumped me. Can I make a guess?
Yes.
Okay. Rounded square?
Ooh, very interesting. It's a squircle.
Oh, I've heard that word before, and I didn't know that's what that is.
Yeah, it's a squircle. I think that might just be like someone made it up and everyone went, do you know what? That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get
It's like a spork.
Yeah. It's a square with rounded circular edges. So that's good. Right. So now it's in there. It's popped it in there. That size is pretty. Oh, what am I doing? I don't even need that one. What am I talking about? I need the other one.
I was wondering if we're having so much fun with it. We're actually
I know, exactly. Let's get that one in there. Right. Now that I select it, now the border, I do want it to have a border. But that is going to be where I'm folding or potentially where I'm cutting. So I want to make that border quite subtle. So I'm going to click on the border little box there, go over to custom, and then drag this from all the way in the bottom left to just before it hits the top left. That will give us a little gray kind of line. That means, again, if you're, and you can see it just here, you can see you've got a little gray line in there. It won't ruin the aesthetic or how it looks, but it will give you a guide on how big it is and all the rest of it, or where you should be cutting or where you should be folding. Right. I've got that one. I'm going to stick it down here. Now, don't put it all the way down to the bottom, because you do have to still you've got to put a little tab on there so that you can stick it all together. So give yourself a bit of space. Right. Next up, go back to elements, stay in shapes, and triangle. There we go. Okay. An equilateral triangle. That's what we're looking for, that first one there. Bingo. Now, a couple of things to do on this. Dismiss all of that nonsense. There we go. A couple of things to do on this. First of all, change the border color. So let's click on there and bring it up. Now, this is the only time you'll have to do this because we're going to duplicate this loads of times.
Aha.
So, there we go. And then you can pop it on the top there. Now, it's not exactly where I want it to be right now, but roughly that's where I want it to be. Now, if I zoom in, lots and lots and lots, I've got two borders next to each other. Don't really want that. I actually want the borders to kind of overlap. So let's bring it down. And you can see the alignment guides. That's the thing I always ask Carl. What are those things again?
The pink lines.
Yeah, the pink lines. That'll do. Pink lines. They're going in there. Right. So we're happy with that. That's all good. So now that we've got that, let's just go back and look at our square base pyramid. I mean, there are different ways you can do this, but actually, if you look at my template that I did here, this is probably the one where you need the least amount of tabs. So that's always good. So I've got this one in place already. I need 1, 2, 3. Well, in fact, before I go on, Carl, do you want to show us where you're at?
Oh, I haven't started. I can repeat that really fast if you like.
Yeah, go for it really fast just to make sure that everyone's on board.
Okay. So I'll go to document.
I was completely lost then.
What's that?
I was completely lost in music.
Oh, that doesn't matter. I can follow along. I've got it. I'm going to do a flyer and create from scratch. This is fine just to use this same. Could be horizontal, could be vertical, as long as we got space. I'll go to my elements, and I'll be ready with my shapes. I'll go ahead and use a background color. I think I'll use this light pink kind of color. Yeah. And then we'll go here and use rectangles. I'll view all of those. There's that square that you used, and I'll just tap on that, and let's go ahead. Yeah, change that border color. So we'll tap on the border, and we'll use a custom color. We'll just pop up this way, so it's very, very faint. And I'll go ahead and reduce the thickness of the border as well. So currently it says it's 17. I'll just do like, I don't know, 5 or something like that. All right, now the next thing you did, I believe, was grab a triangle. Now, don't worry, I just noticed I didn't name this, so hang on.
Hey, I didn't have to say anything. The Grinch didn't have to say anything.
We're looking for an equilateral triangle. I was working on my equilaterals at the gym yesterday, but didn't do any good. Let's go down to triangles. Look, they're all the way down here. This is funny because you would expect the triangles to be up here where the other basic shapes are, the simple primitives, as we say, but unfortunately, they're all the way down here. I'm not sure why. Let's view those.
Is that what you call them? Simple primitives?
Simple primitives, yes. Wow. Circles, squares, triangles, or cubes, pyramids, and spheres and cylinders. And it's the building blocks for drawing things in 3 dimensions as well.
Yeah.
Let's tap here and grab an equilateral triangle. There we go. And I'll use those alignment guides. But first, actually, I'll go ahead and I'll change the border thickness to be the same as the other. So it's 5. And we've got the edge there lined up nicely and then centered. And you did this. You zoomed in to ensure that the width.
I mean, your borders are really thin, actually, so it doesn't matter so much, I suppose.
Maybe not, yeah. All right, now I've got these 2 here, and I'll just go ahead and I'll whoa, hello, whoa, hey, what's going on? Come on, Express. All right, I'll grab both of these and just move them down a little ways so they're centered on my canvas. And I'm not sure how big this will be. I think this flyer is about 8 by 10 inches. I could probably make this a little bigger, right?
Yeah, well, you can always work on that later as well.
Yeah, I want to make sure it's when I print it, it's not, the size of a jelly bean. All right.
Right. So we're both in the same place. So now look at our templates. We've got this kind of house going on at the moment. We need 1, 2, 3 coming off there. Right. So select the shape you've already made, duplicate it, take it over roughly around about here, flip it, get it into position.
Ooh.
If you want, you can zoom in and make sure it's in the right place. There it is, roughly about right. Yeah, that's looking good. I think they've roughly got the borders overlapping. and then I can duplicate it again, bring it over this side. Easy peasy. We are flying through this. You see, once you've got the basics nailed, you know, you are good to go. And then duplicate again, flip it, stick it on top.
The duplicating it makes it just the duplicating and flipping saves so much time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Now, once we've done that in the shapes, you can go back into your rectangles, view all. Let's go here. Right, it's giving me a rectangle. What am I using this for? Well, you need something to stick your net together with. So let's make some little tabs. Now, you can play with yours and try and work out where the tabs go, or you can just copy this. So bottom, 2 wings and 1 on top. Right. So 1 on the bottom. There we go. You might want to zoom in to make sure that you're not encroaching on the white space, because that's the good stuff. Yeah. 1 there. Duplicate it. Bring it up. Rotate it. Now, because it's an equilateral triangle, all the angles inside the triangle are 60 degrees. So you need to have your tab at 60 degrees as well. Now, this one might be a bit big up there, so I'll just reduce it ever so slightly. We got 1 there. That's roughly about a good position. I'm happy with that. Duplicate it again. Bring it over this side. Rotate it now to 120. So it's always multiples. I can't quite make it 120. 119, that'll do. Get it in the right position. There we go. So there'll always be. Now I got. Hey, I made 120. There you go. I knew it wouldn't defeat me. Right, and there we go. And then last but not least, duplicate it again. And then this one will need to be on a 0 angle, and then pop it up there. And again, you might want to just zoom in to make sure that 1, your borders are overlapping, and 2, you're not going into the white space. Okay, nice. Now, one thing I do before I kick it over to Carl to see how he's getting on is I'm going to drag and select over all of this, because one of the things that Carl was saying before is, have I got enough space for this? Have I got enough space for that? If you click and drag over everything, you can resize it to your canvas. But actually, one of the things that I'm noticing here now is that I should have done a vertical. But you can resize this by swapping these 2 numbers over. So it's 1920 by 1080. So if I swap these over and resize, there you go. And then I can just drag this out. And then the bigger the better in this sort of scenario, really. There we go. And also, if you group them all together, then you can bing right in the center there. Boom. Okay, cool. Carl, let's see what you got.
I love that you just, you were working on it, and then you went ahead and just decided, oh, I'll just make this vertical. One of my favorite artists in the world, Christoph Niemann from Berlin. I one time interviewed him for a thing. I asked him about what are the things he likes about digital art and digital design. And he said, with digital art and design, everything is infinitely reversible and endlessly flexible. And I thought, infinitely reversible. It's true. You can kind of just, I changed my mind. Yeah. Okay, no problem. No harm done. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All righty.
How are you getting on your tab?
I've been following along. I made these triangles just like you did, and did the old flip.
Yeah.
And flip, etc.
Yeah.
And I got things positioned quite nicely. I was just thinking how funny this kind of reminds me. Look, if I do this, makes me think of like a baby's crib, or what do you call it, a rocker or whatever.
Yeah, it does.
That shape, yeah. You know what I love when I was a kid, I still love, are tangrams, I think they're called, where you can take those basic shapes and you can make pictures out of them.
Well, we just bought those for our 4-year-old for Christmas.
They're great.
Yeah.
I love those. Anyway, this just really reminds me of those. All right, so what I need are tabs, and what you did was you duplicated the square and then just shrunk it down to make your tabs. That's very clever. We'll rotate that to about 60 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to need tabs on, let's see, I think you said that, I'm going to try to reverse engineer here.
Yeah, you can do like One on the bottom of the square, and then the others you can just kind of you just have to kind of like think about trying to build it in your mind, I suppose.
You had one at
Yeah,
the bottom of the square there.
and
Is
then
that
the
right?
2 wings. Did it on the 2 wings, and oh yeah. So what Carl's doing is clever here because rather than having to like get it exactly, he's just hiding it behind the shapes, and then you don't have to like play around with size and stuff like that, which is cool.
I'm just moving the layer behind.
Yeah. As long as the tab is on the bottom, then you'll always get away with it, which is cool. This is one of the things, isn't it? That, yeah, you have to kind of edge it out.
I know, it's so funny because it'll try and select the entire.
Yeah.
If you're anywhere near that triangle, it'll say, "Oh, you want the triangle?"
Yeah. And then one on the horizontal triangle on the right hand side.
And I'm, by the way, everybody, I'm using my keyboard to nudge these around. The arrows on the keyboard, normally found at the bottom right, you can use those. And you said one over here, but
no, on the one on the right hand side, on the top
right
there,
here.
yeah. I think that's. I mean, probably I'll get emails from teachers saying that didn't even work.
Oh no!
I'll find it. Right, that's perfect. Right, let's go back. Okay, so now we've got to just add detail. So now it's about, let's get on with the scarf. Let's do that next. Right,
Cool.
so
okay.
To do that, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to go to elements, back out, go to design assets and search for scarf. Okay, now this one is perfect because it's very easy to because of all these little sort of vertical lines that they've got on here, it's very easy to kind of match it up and make it into a scarf which will fit all the way around. Now I'm going to make sure mine's quite near the bottom, and it can overlap underneath this decoration. That's cool.
Okay.
And now that I've got that, I'm going to duplicate it, right? And then bring it over to the side because I'm going to work on it. And what I want to do is I want to crop it. I'm going to crop this bad boy, and then I am going to. You can just play around ever so slightly. And when I'm looking for a clean line at the bottom, that's roughly okay. Bring that one down there. You don't want it to. I'm just trimming off any excess, really. Okay, that is pretty much perfect. Right. Now that I've got that, this very shape is the one that's going to wrap around the whole shape. So what you can do is get it into position. Now, like Carl was doing with his tabs, you can decide if you want to position it in front or behind. I might position that one behind. It doesn't really sort of matter. And then just duplicate it. And then all you've got to do is change the angle so it follows the shape round, and then duplicate it. Kyle, you will know off the top of your head, without a doubt, what is the keyboard shortcut for duplicate?
It is on, if you're using a Chromebook or another PC device, it's Control D.
Yeah.
And if you were on an Apple device, it would be Command D.
Yeah, there you go. You heard it here first. And then all you got to do is just piece these up until it goes all the way around. Now, if you kind of overlap, it doesn't matter because you're going to cut that off when you make your decoration. So, I mean, I'm happy with the fact that that's just going off. It doesn't really make any difference. And then, here you can bring it round, add it on, duplicate, and just keep on building it up until you get to the end of your shape. Now, this one will get to the end of my shape. Yeah, this one will be great. There you go. Nice. That's the scarf going all the way around. Kyle Webster, what the blazes.
So just another bit of math here for everybody if you want to try this.
That's a really cool idea.
So, and unfortunately, well, Dom, the difference is I'm not going to get a cool pattern like you. And it's, but I thought if you want to try and make a scarf in a different way, you could try this. Make a circle that has a border. So what I've done is I've made the circle And I've sized it so that because if you were to finish out these triangles, if you had all 6 of them, you'd be able to fit a circle right in the middle.
Yeah.
And that circle would pass through the same part of each triangle all the way around.
Very cool.
So, you know, this is another way to try and do it. Of course, I'm not going to, again, have a pattern in there. But if you want a solid colored scarf, you could try this method.
And you could do a rectangle to make the little hangy down bit.
Yes, exactly. So that's the next step. So let's just, now it's important to mention, you notice I've centered this circle over the point where these triangles converge right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll make sure that it all lines up properly. And don't worry about it overlapping with everything here because you're going to cut all that away.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's go ahead and let's go to our shapes, and we'll use a simple rectangle. And for the fill color, I'll just use this blue color, which is what I used before. Change that shape.
Yeah, that's really cool. Nice idea. Lovely.
And we just put that scarf right there. So no big deal.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
Thanks.
You are always doing things like that just make me think in a different way. That is really cool.
I think the two of us, you know, that's what's fun about working together is that we'll try something a little different and then say, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, completely not rehearsed, by the way.
No, we're just as we go.
And creativity right here.
As we go. All right, so I think now it's time for some snowman features or snowwoman features, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it. So, I mean, I'll do some basic ones, and then we'll go over to Kyle, and he'll have some other ones, which will make us think in a really different way. So let's, I'm going to go, and one of the things you can do for snowman eyes, I would have searched for coal, because that's the thing that they tell us in storybooks all the time. Everyone's got some coal lying around. I haven't got any coal lying around.
I don't have any.
And also, if you do rocks, you do kind of get all of these crazy like rock guitars and stuff like that. But if you scroll down long enough, you will get one that does kind of look like a rock, and then you can change. You know, you can find a stone and make it into black one like that.
And I think we should mention that this is a category we don't often think about, but it's really useful category in Express, icons.
Yeah. It's the icon category. Yeah. We don't often use it that much, to be fair. And so you can pop those in. Now, the reason why I kind of think your scarf needs to be lower, because you need to have a little bit of space, because clearly you want to like put those in and then maybe be able to put a smile in. So I might even move these up. So I'm selecting one, using shift, selecting the other, and then just move them up there. And then, you know, if you want to, you can go to media and you can search for a carrot and you can find one in there. That one's on a nice angle. Select it, remove the background. And then once the background's removed, you can either play with the angle of it or you just flip it and then resize it. And you've got your nose just overlapping the scarf ever so slightly there. I wonder, oh yeah, so Carl did a thing, didn't he, where it was like, you know, the snowman with the, if you put your finger in, it makes it look a little bit blue.
Oh yeah.
I wonder whether, do you have a curve? We have a little curve, actually.
That could work.
Yeah, the curve could work. I wonder if it's in shapes. Nah. I wonder if like bend. No, it's all a bit plumbery. Yeah,
Flummery.
maybe curve. Yeah, there's not one that I'm immediately sort of oh, that one's not bad. That one's not bad. So I could, I mean, you could do this. I'm not sure whether this is going to really work, but Carl did a thing where, you know, it's kind of the bluey snow. Someone dragged their finger in to make a little smile. So there you go. You could do something like that. That's kind of cool. Kind of like that. I would like to make that a bit thicker, but the only way that I could see to do that would be actually to duplicate it and put it next to it. Which...
Oh, that might, I mean, if you zoom in, you could probably do that just fine.
Yeah, and maybe you
that's
could do it. Yeah,
that's
it's
one of
not
those
a
things.
not a perfect way of doing it, is it? But it'll work. So that's pretty cool. That nose is a tremendous nose. And then I did do some glasses. I'll find some glasses. So we could do sunglasses. We didn't find anything. Oh, icons. Make sure you're in icons. Now I'm looking for ones that don't have arms because that's not gonna work out so well, I don't think. Ooh, cool. Not seen these
Oh, those are
before.
great glasses. The glasses to me just make it so much fun.
Yeah,
Also, when they're really big,
yeah,
it looks really funny. I love that.
yeah. And then maybe I'll select my little rocks and just push them out ever so slightly. There you go. There you go. A very studious snowman there. Good fun. I like it.
That's
Uh,
that's a good face.
can we take a look, Kyle?
Yeah, sure. Um,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice.
so I'm going because of this solid color for the scarf, it just sort of made me start moving more towards like a really graphic,
Yeah.
flat kind of design idea. And I'm sure some of the students out there know what kawaii is, which is like Japanese cuteness. And so the
Oh, yeah.
the eyes I made are inspired sort of by that look, where to do that, I went into the rectangles and I used this squircle shape, but it's a more of a squectangle.
Yeah, I did see that one before, and I thought, I wonder what the name of that one would be. Squexangle. That'll do.
Recturcle, I don't know, but I used that and just turned it on its side, and then put these little white circles on there. It's like highlights of the eye. You see that in cartoons. You see it in the Japanese, the kawaii
Yeah.
stuff. And I think if I am going that route, I would probably just for a flat shape for the nose, just use a triangle.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
Spirited Away. It reminds me of that.
Oh, I love Miyazaki movies. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Howl's Moving Castle, that's a really special, weird, crazy, beautiful one.
Right. There's a new one
And
out, isn't there?
yes, there's The Boy and the Heron. That looks cool.
Right.
I'm wondering, I don't know if this will work. I was going to try this rounded edge triangle. Uh-oh. I think Express is locking up on me again. I'll refresh
Okay.
and see if it comes back. We still got a
Yeah.
few minutes here. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. I thought that rounded edge triangle might be kind of nice if I could distort it and make it longer for the carrot nose. I don't know if that actually works. But you carry on and I'll see how I go.
Yeah, okay. I was just messing around with my
the mouth, yeah.
The smile there. Carl did a cool one yesterday actually where he did ski goggles. I really like that one. That was cool.
Oh,
but
thanks.
Also, I tell you what I did do is I did move the scarf down a little bit so there was a little bit more space, just a little bit more space. And I did that by select one, hold shift, select the other, select the other, select the other. And then once you've selected them all, then, I mean, you could just group them here. And then you can, play around with the position of them just to make sure that they gives you enough space to get your. That's interesting.
What happened?
And I can kind of make his mouth open if I change the angle of one of the.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. That's cool. Carl, show us.
Well, I decided to just put the triangle there. Like, I mean, it's really graphic.
Yeah, that's nice. It's
sometimes,
a nice touch.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing too was I was thinking about what you were doing there with the mouth, and I know this is one of those workarounds, but sometimes you have to do workarounds, and I think for this circle, if I just duplicate it, and then make it smaller.
Yeah, I was thinking
I can crop it. We can use cropping, right? I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it's an ellipse. I guess I can't. Let's see if I can. No.
What could you do with that? You could cover it with something white.
Oh yeah. Great idea. Okay, so I'll put it where I want.
Yeah.
So maybe like about there, and we'll make it a lighter color. This could work. Let's try this. So I'll make the mouth there. And now to cover it, so I'll put it in the very back, right down. You can rearrange your layers, so I can slide it on down here.
Yeah. Well,
And then I can just put a white shape on top of that, and that'll totally work. So we'll do that. Let's go to our elements again, and we'll just use a rectangle. And I'll get rid of the border. We don't need that. If you go to swatches, you have this little red line through it, and that just says no border for me, please.
Yeah.
And then I'll position that where I want it.
Yay, cool.
And drag it down this away.
So it just needs to sit on top of the mouth, doesn't it? That's the only thing it needs to do.
Yep. And I can even angle that mouth a little bit like that. And
yeah.
And that's
cool.
Hey, thanks. You solved it for me. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that works well. Very nice.
I can group these.
Yeah. Very cool. Right. Do you want to show how to download and share?
Yes, I do. Hey, let's get down here. I just meant to group these and I didn't. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Oh, one thing I was going to say. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. I was going to say you might want to change. If you do want to change any background or border colors before you print, this is the time to do it. If you like, because sometimes when I used to do this, I used to do quite strong borders so I could see perfectly. But if you've got strong borders and you want to tone them down a bit so that it doesn't encroach on your design, then now's the time to change those borders.
Good point. Yeah, mine are pretty light, but they could be even lighter because they'll still print and you'll see them. You want them to be as faint as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good call.
And actually, I'm looking at a couple of my triangles and they're a bit off as well. So zoom in is your friend in this one. Zooming in is your friend.
Yeah, don't forget to zoom when you need to zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you have a couple of options here. You can download the image, and once again, you have a PNG, and that'll just save to wherever your downloads go. You can also share it, and you have this option here, which you mentioned yesterday. I thought was great. You could build a basic template for this, but not fill in all the details. And then invite people. See this invite collaborators. You can say, hey, so-and-so, send them an email with a link to this template. And then they can open it right away in Express and start making their own version of it. You can also publish it to the web. This is going to create a link for you. And you see this allow others to remix. Another great way to do the same thing. Just tap on that.
Yeah, that's a good way to challenge other people as well, because then that'll give them a new project that they can work on rather than working on yours.
There you go.
Yeah.
And if you publish the link, it's going to generate a unique link for you, which you can then send out to whoever you want to share it with. Pretty sweet.
So teachers, you could print those out and then they can take them home and, do them with their family, print out a couple of copies or something like that. That'd be nice. Have something to do around the Christmas table, something like that.
Yeah.
There you go. Cool. Right then. That is us on time. Perfect. Last one of the year, Kyle. It's quite a momentous occasion, really.
It is. We've done a lot, and I'm so glad that I was able to jump in and do these with you. And I've had so much fun, and I think this is the kind of thing that allows people to see that you can, with the right tools, that are even if the tools themselves are kind of simple, they give you so much room to experiment and play and get creative. And I think that's the best part about these exercises and these challenges. None of them are set in stone, right? You can get creative with these and mess around with them.
Exactly. Push and pull them as much as you like. We will be putting new dates up for the new year. I'm not sure whether I've got the energy to do it before the end of tomorrow, but I will send out an email to everyone. And also, teachers, you will get an email out after this. Tell us who's finished their challenges. We can order some swag. Won't be till the new year now, but you'll get it then. And the other thing to say is, Kyle.
Yes? What am I supposed to say?
Happy Christmas in Welsh.
Oh my gosh. Nadolig.
Yes.
Nadolig. What's the second part?
Clawen.
Clawen.
It's like a
I'm
Nadalic
sorry.
Llywelyn. There you go. And for people in Northern
It's gonna
Ireland,
be hard for me to do this. Yeah, but hey, that's exactly right. Nadalic Llywelyn to everybody.
there you go. That was nice. Perfect.
Frohe Weihnachten and Joyeux Noel and all the Feliz Navidad, all those things.
And if you're in Northern Ireland, what about you? That's how they say
it. I like that. I like that. Dom, I want to
Cool.
thank you for letting me do all this stuff with you. I had a blast. It's been a great time, and we'll do more next year. So I can't wait.
We will. We'll do even more next year. Bet you can't wait. Right.
No, but now we need a long winter's nap.
Yeah, exactly that. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the term. Do all the rest of those challenges if you've got some time. And let us know. Share on social if you can. That'd be great. You know where to find us. All right. Take care, everyone.